of the world. That tells me when you do this you are doing wrong, but when you are doing this, then you are doing it inside the will of the gods. And I say blessed is his name, that he may be proud upon the sword. I am making to find his meaning with our existence, and that is all constructed inside a jungle of synthesis. As this wave of reasoning continues inside the endless of movement of galaxies, and even more galaxies look away being photographed at this very moment. From a distance of 60 million light years, of course, seeing as it was back then, but we are doing a story in it today with the blessings of 1,000 million and 1,000 million and 1,000 million, 1,000 million and 1,000 million and 1,000 million, only to grow into one more 1,000 million. Then somehow I appear to go like one and one and one. To say and sit around more keep researching if they want to do the meaning of life. As it is in this amazing universe with the violent confusion, God telling what you to do within this jungle of sentences. What are you telling and what do you want? And what can I do and what do I need? This is all that is, and I remain myself again, with the pressure of knowing and the power of ability. This existence is an endless flow of what is past or what has been, to what is at this very moment, and what will be the future. Only to say with these sounds of movement, I do not have the ability to see what is to be the future. Now comes to the quest to ask the gods, I am God. With the power of me, give me the ability to see the future. With the clarity of moments, I ask the gods, please give me the power to see in fullness the meaning of life. As it is now like an end, I work my way up the tree and take a piece of leaf to take it to the colony, and that fungus will grow, which is the food we eat. Now the tree is the guitar, the leaf is the money, the colony is the city in connection with all the other cities. And the fungus is right. Who would want to read this? Who would want to play this? Who would want to read all this? It is my belief, it is my way of understanding the world. Now who would deny my way of being? Who will say you are in the wrong understanding? Well, for that there are scientists and they tell about the way to be seen. All that is most likely the case. What most likely happened? We have been monkeys, we have been fish, we have been bacteria, we have been just space debris. Well, if that is what this Bible is saying, I can understand some people will say, do not expect me to believe this. I believe in the God you see. I believe that the world was shaped a very short moment, just a matter of a week. That is indeed a miracle. For never we will be able to do such a thing in the laboratory. Oh, I am being played by stupid thoughts and silly wantons. How I need time to change to better, much better indeed. And in the distance there was a vain whisper of the thoughts in a way of telling, bringing a presentation of the self, a performance that is new and inspiring, and with the amazing ability to do it in a way that is not easily surpassed. You practice, you take control over the notes you strive, you have your petal, you have your newly taken limits in being, you have new dreams closer to what is they can bring into reality, not far away as it only happens in movies, not as it happens in the world of streets, homes, cars, high buildings. All that is all that is, as it is a city. And sounds rumble in the forest in the distance. Machines building a road right through the forest. The city is built between roads, connecting to many cities. Actually, the cities are a number, because they count infinity. And the humans with the standard thought construction are able to travel on the roads, to go from city to city and visit all kinds of places in these cities. Beyond the clouds. Are the cities way beyond the clouds, even beyond the stars, actually between the stars. And there is this gate that connects all these cities. A special gate indeed, for it is like a wormhole travel instantly from one side of the galaxy to the other side. Or helping realizing civilizations on planets that are all present in the overwhelmingly big-sized galaxy that the Milky Way is. And it is really gigantic. No words can tell how big the galaxy is. It is the future to build rooms where you can become aware of the big-sized galaxy within yourself. So inside the galaxy and being aware of the galaxy in its size within yourself. Now that is creating a wormhole, so to speak, within yourself. And then comes the training of going beyond the size of the galaxy to the size of the distance that exists between galaxy and galaxy. The Andromeda Triangle. You experience that within yourself. It is the enormous forces of space that you have an entire reflection of the real universe within yourself. Happening with the quality of reality itself. So space takes hold within tiny bubbles. When in space itself, this is the galaxy of humans or tiny faces with brains that will hold very special workings. Indeed, and at this point in time, just a small part of that working is active. However, it still needs to activate itself, and every time such a thing occurs, it is a very special happening indeed. It is like the universe comes to reality in itself. Again, for the universe must understand itself, and in this way the universe realizes what it is. The existence of the word, the construction part of the universe. That thought construction is what the universe has created to think about itself. For the universe needs to understand itself, as it always has been. And life is the excellent way of understanding. Come to be thought life. Come to be intelligent reason about the world. And go beyond sound movement of water and food to go to abstract movements within the universe like the existence of power. The hidden workings of the universe in a number that you would really be surprised about doesn't exist at all. And in all words revealed or hidden, it continues on what is the origin of the movement. What moves the earth? What moves the waves? What moves the clouds? What moves the sun? What moves energy? What is the source of movement? It is eternity itself. It has always been this way and never will it be any different. It is movement. Nonsense, said the red dwarf. Absolutely nonsense. What about the precise meaning of the clock? What about the precise meaning of the wall? What about the precise meaning of the quarter? No, I can tell you nothing about that at all. I will be honest enough to tell you that the Bible is a miracle. You say, really? Is it a miracle? I do not know about that. Have you read? Yes, I have. And what did it tell you? That it does not explain it all. Just wants this and wants that, but not getting it at all. All kinds of failures in achieving it. You are collecting pieces of food, are you not? You are doing that on a day that you are supposed to be resting? Ha! That will cost your life. Well, that does not matter. I was going to lose it anyhow. And at the last moment, I decided that slowly and in the right circumstances, I will give myself totally to achieving a pure Sabbath. Yeah, that is what I please and that is what I will do. But for the moment I will be asking the gods, please forgive me in being unwilling to listen to you wanting me to be that way. And I am not. Now comes the effort to tell the feeling of the moment. With what I can compare it with? What can I tell that I simply do not know? Something continuous, something same, but not an exact repeating of what has been. Always will be so, bubbles on the spiraling star erosion. No, I am not able to tell it. But the most likely words to be used is freak and paranoia. No, dying is something I want to wait with as long as possible. But listening to the will of the God that I want to do as soon as possible. But with my entire life, to walk in the way of the gods wants us to be. As it is written by Krishna or Jesus or Buddha or Muhammad. Just as long as it is asking a noble and peaceful human being in search of enlightenment. The highest peaceful state of being in oneness. And wanting everyone to be in love and all within the small path given by the words of Jesus. And all the others that have visited our ancestors. Yes, that is my will. To a bright shining soul with a clear sky. And I overcome my fear. First my right foot, superstition. And then my left. I step into the earth sky, you now. Watching the moon. Activity. Time and time. Summary. In this activity we will investigate A. Newton's law of gravitation. B. Tidal forces. C. Synchronous rotation of the moon. And D. The length of the day on Earth. Tidal forces. As the moon travels in its almost circular path around the Earth, it too is in free fall under gravity. We tend to talk about the effects of gravity on the Earth and Moon as if they are point objects. They are not. Each has a finite size, and this brings about interesting and important tidal effects. We usually think only of the Earth's oceans when we talk about tides. The tidal effects are much more widespread. The Moon as well as the Earth experience sizable tidal forces, as do natural satellites of other planets, particularly Jupiter. Tidal effects turn out to be crucial in the regions surrounding black holes. There are many examples of tidal effects in astronomy. Here we will concentrate on the Earth-Moon system. And instead of starting out with ocean tides on Earth, we'll look at an easier example to explain first off tidal forces on the Moon. Tidal forces on the Moon. The force of gravity F, acting on the Moon's center, keeps it traveling along its almost circular orbit. However, the force of gravity acts on all parts of the Moon, more strongly on the side closest to the Earth and less strongly on the side furthest from the Earth. According to Kepler's third law, the orbital period squared is proportional to the orbital radius cubed. So stable orbits and larger radii have lower orbital speeds, vice versa. This comes about because the force of gravity decreases rapidly with distance. Let's consider the motion of 3 points on the Moon. A point on the side facing Earth. B, a point at the center of the Moon. C, a point on the side furthest from Earth. If A, B, and C were free to travel in independent orbits around the Earth, according to Kepler's third law, A will travel faster than B, and C will travel more slowly than B. However, because they are connected, all 3 points, A, B, and C, have to travel around the Earth at the same orbital speed. The Moon's rotation on its axis is so slow compared to its orbital motion around the Earth that we can ignore it for now. So B is traveling at the right speed for its orbit, and as C is further from the Earth, it is traveling too fast for an independent orbit. But as A is closer to the Earth, therefore it is traveling too slowly for an independent orbit. If A, B, and C were not fixed to the Moon, A would move in towards the Earth as it is not traveling fast enough to maintain its present orbit. C would shift out further from the Earth as it is traveling too fast to maintain its present orbit. However, the Moon is a solid object held together by not just gravity, but also by chemical bonds. So instead of breaking apart, the differing strength of the Earth's gravitational pull on its near and far side acts to restore the chain. The Moon does indeed have a small tidal burn, aligned roughly towards Earth. So the different gravitational force on the near and far sides of orbiting objects such as the Moon tends to distort them. Can even move loosely bound objects apart. confronting and channeling water flow means that in some locations there is only one tide per day, and the tides in some places on Earth are up to 50 meters high. Question: the Sun also produces tidal effects on Earth, but only at about half the magnitude of those due to the Moon. How can this be, given that the gravitational force on the Earth due to the Sun is greater than that due to the Moon? The Earth and Moon are relatively close together, so the difference in the gravitational force due to the Moon on one side of the Earth compared to the other is appreciable. The Earth and Sun are relatively far apart, so although the Sun exerts larger gravitational force on the Earth than does the Moon, the difference in the gravitational force on one side of the Earth compared to the others is not as great as for the effect of the Moon. So even though the Sun exerts a greater gravitational force on the Earth than does the Moon, its tidal effects are not as great. The largest ocean tides on Earth, called spring tides, though they have nothing to do with it, occur when the Sun, Earth, and the Moon are lined up. Like this. This. Cronius rotation of the Moon. It's common for people to refer to the dark side of the Moon. We found the last activity, how as the Moon rotates around the Earth, essentially the same face turned towards us. So poetic concept, though it may be, there is no one constant dark side of the Moon. Our oceans experience high and low tides as the Earth rotates. Contracted, the Moon is essentially the same face turned towards the Earth. The Moon's tidal burst stays almost fixed relative to the Moon's surface, synchronous rotation. How does this come about then? It could hardly be a coincidence that the Moon keeps the same face towards us. This is just no coincidence. Nearly all the natural satellites, moons in the solar system orbit in synchronous rotation. As an extreme example, Vargas and Pluto and satellite Charon are both in synchronous rotation, each with one face eternally turned towards the other. To look for an explanation, we just need to extend the understanding of tidal forces a little. Theories of the formation of the Moon suggest that it originally rotated at a much faster rate. The Moon, centered by the tidal effect of the Earth's force and gravitation on the Moon, would have remained directed roughly along the line connecting the Moon and Earth. Because the Moon's orbit around the Earth isn't perfectly circular, the Moon's orbit will speed very slightly during its orbital cycle. This causes the tidal bulge to water slightly, so that the Moon is just enough for us to see about 5/8 of the surface during the course of a month, instead of the half factor you would otherwise expect. This slight turning of the Moon is termed the librations of the Moon. So as the Moon rotated, the bulge would have been continually moving through its crust, raising and lowering it. This would generate heat in the crust, taking energy from the Moon's rotation, and therefore slowing its rate of rotation down until it reaches its present tidally locked alignment. Angular momentum and the length of the day. We have seen that both Pluto and its satellite Charon are tidally locked into synchronous rotation. As our Moon is locked into synchronous rotation, it is reasonable to ask why the Earth is not also tidally locked. That is, why the Earth does not take the same amount of time to rotate as the Moon takes the orbit to Earth. The answer is that the length of the day on Earth is slowly lengthening due to the effect of the tidal bulge moving through the Earth's crust. But the Earth is so massive that this change in the length of the day is very slow. The length of a day on Earth is increasing by about 0.001 seconds per century at present. When the Earth first formed, the day may have been only 5 to 6 hours long. As the Earth rotates, the tidal bulges moving through its crust are slowed down somewhat by friction, which makes them a little out of alignment with the Moon. This misalignment provides a twisting force, a torque, on the Moon, speeding it up, causing it to very slowly spiral out, increasing its orbital radius at the rate of 4 centimeters a year. Originally, the Moon-Earth separation may have been as little as 1/10 its present value. Ocean tides on Earth would then have been roughly 1,000 times greater than their present day size. Weathering caused by such tides would have a profound effect on the evolution of Earth's surface. The next activities we will investigate current theories on the formation of the solar system. Johannes Kepler's third law, there is a fixed relationship between the cube of the radius of the planet's orbit and the square of its period of orbit. The same type of relationship will hold in any star system, although emptiness of the star will of course be different. The Milky Way. Detailed structure. Count the arms in this superb image of NGC-1232 by M2, the new 8.2 meter telescope of ESO's field in Chile. Activity: galactic spiral arms. Summary: this activity aims to provide examples, theories and understanding in the following areas. Spiral arms in the Milky Way and other galaxies. Star-forming regions highlighting the spiral feature. Mechanisms for formations and persistence of spiral arms. Onto image showing how dark rifts and bright clusters of stars delineate what we see as spiral arms. Spiral shapes in nature. Regular shapes and patterns in nature invite a search for a mechanism for their formation. The author for this section has tried to find planet Earth examples to introduce each activity. It will get harder as we journey further out into the universe. In this case, this one-armed spiral shape, both beautiful and mysterious, does not suggest any rotational motion to us. It challenges life scientists to understand its formation and its change too. Regularities provide clues to understanding. Science organized structures such as occur in biology and atomic structure in the solar system lead to theory, enabling predictions. Amongst the seething chaos of stars and dust, the spiral arms of galaxies stand out, both in beauty and inviting explanation. Ironically, we probably know more about the dynamics of distant galaxies than we know about the mystery of life, as in this simple tree fern front. More familiar spirals. Rotating fireworks and rotating garden water sprinklers also produce spiral arm effects. In these cases, the mechanism is the outward directed jet effect of the gunpowder or water respectively. The jet effect certainly implies such arms trail the rotation direction. Will we find galaxy arms trail, or might they at times lead the rotation direction of the galaxy? We will be searching for a mechanism for the generation and sustaining of galaxy spiral arms. Spirality and rotation. We will see that symmetric and spiral galaxy features do not simply imply rotation in the way we might at first expect. We have seen that early in our own century, and due to telescope limitations of the day, we had no evidence that the spiral nebulae were not part of the entire Milky Way universe. In fact, the spiral nebulae were suspected by some as being embryonic solar systems, according to the nebulae hypothesis. The suggestion of rotation of the spiral shape must have added to the incorrect nebulae. The winding problem. The spiral arms rotated with the stars that comprise them. How would their appearance change with time? In the previous activity, we saw how the VR velocity curve was generally fed away from the central region. That's the period of a star orbit. B is 2 pi r divided by v. Increases with radius. Consider 2 orbits of the inner star of a sample of 4. Within a few rotations, the arms would bind up tightly and could not persist as observed. The spiral arms appear to trail or lead. Establishing the rotation direction of a galaxy depends on knowing the rotations of the plane of a galaxy. Previous activity showed that the right side of NGC-253 is receding from us, faster than the center of the galaxy, but this still would mean the galaxy is rotating anti-clockwise. The dark rifts on the near side of the galaxy establishes that clockwise is the correct interpretation. In most cases where the tilt of the plane can be determined, arms appear to trail. Leading or trailing spiral arms. There may be some exceptions to the rule. For example, where in the one image, exemplificatie NGC-4622 at right, we appear to have arms in both directions, leading arms must at least be possible. Really, a lot of astronomy involves applying logic and puzzle solving to the problem at hand and can be great fun. Certainly a little physics and math helps, and we can still get it wrong. The winding problem demonstrates that the spiral arms do not rotate with the stars comprising the arms. Indeed, do the arms rotate at all? What observations could we make to decide if they do? As we now proceed to review the actual nature of spiral arms and the phenomena associated with them, bear the winding problem in mind to anticipate a solution to it. What do we see as arms? To investigate spiral arms in our own galaxy, what do we search for and what difficulties are involved? Taking our clues from other galaxies, what objects in visible light first seem to indicate the positions of spiral arms? Dark dust rift lanes, light crystalline stars, pink hydrogen nebula. We can detect such markers in the Milky Way with one proviso. What is it? So far so good. Not so easy. Not all galaxies show prominent spiral arms. This image shows the same star, dust and gas spiral markers as in the esc-nr2327 image in the previous frame. But the arms are not as well delineated. The task of identifying arms in our own galaxy will be difficult if it is a galaxy similar to esc-300. And there's one further problem. We have to try to identify spiral arm markers from our viewpoint within the galactic disk itself. This image of an edge-on spiral galaxy shows the extent of absorbing dust and gas that may also hamper observations within our own galaxy. It also highlights the fact that spiral arms are not evident when viewed from the side. The problem will be same as we try to find arms in our own galaxy. The distance problem. Locating the spiral arm markers from within the plane of our own galaxy. Though we can identify the star, gas and dust spiral arm markers, when they are all superimposed in our side one view, how do we identify each marker along with its distance? Viewed through the arm markers at larger distances. This image towards the center of the galaxy shows stars, hydrogen nebulae and dust lanes. But how can we identify spiral arms and view through the confusion to large distances? Markers to spiral arms. Dust. The following is to remind us of the value and difficulty in the various markers to spiral arms. This image of the Orion nebula clearly indicates the dense clouds of dust on this side and the far side of the trapezium, cluster of young stars. And recall that even away from such clouds, the average interstellar extinction is about 1 magnitude per kiloparsec. Toward the center of the galaxy, for our galaxy therefore, dust serves only to hamper visual observations to greater distances. Markers to spiral arms. 2. Stars. Young open clusters of stars, including very luminous O and B main sequence stars, are the main visible features that dominate spiral arms. Since massive OB stars are short-lived objects, spiral arms must correspond to regions of active star formation. This also suggests that even a spiral arm may be a transient phenomenon as far as its location is concerned. Markers to spiral arms. 3. Hydrogen gas. Emission nebulae result from excitation by intense UV radiation from hot young O and B stars. Amongst many radiation mechanisms, the pink color of the hydrogen alpha emission is usually predominant H2 regions. Though visible in nearby galaxies, the difficulty of observation to large distances in our galactic plane limits the usefulness of spiral markers in our own galaxy. 21 cm emission from H1 clouds.